Dr. Elizabeth Jackrich is alleged to have come to the defense of Olori Naomi. Dr. Elizabeth Jackrich and the husband, who were, instrumental to Ooni of Ife acquiring that oil well. If you do not know who Dr. Elizabeth Jackrich is, Dr. Elizabeth Jackrich is the photo you are seeing on the screen. She is the adopted daughter to the Ooni of Ife. She is really, really loved and appreciated by the Ooni of Ife, and she is married to one of the richest oil mongols in Nigeria. They've got a lot of money. They do a lot in the oil sector offshore. They have oil wells here and there. They are absolutely, absolutely wealthy. So when Oni decided that he was going to acquire an oil well for Tadenikawo, allegedly, they say Oni had to leave those papers that Mariam had used to propose, that the proposition for the royal family to own an oil well came from Mariam first. But when Oni of Ife and Mariam allegedly started the process, they started having a lot of issues where Mariam was always saying things like it's her money, it's her time, it's everything. And that was exactly the same period where Oni had launched the Ojaja Mall, from what we're hearing, where Mariam said that she contributed so much. And because of some of those contributions that she was making, Oni had no right to make, his own decision on how to treat Queen Naomi and Tadenikawo. And if you have been following the trend, one thing that, of course, you do know that is true is that Ooni of Ife does not joke with Tadenikawo. And so when Oni sensed that there might be problem at the end of the day, Oni decided to go through the in-law, that is Dr. Jackrich, the husband to Dr. Elizabeth Jackrich, to process the paper, finish it, and acquire that oil well for Tadenikawo. Now, Olori Mariam is saying that the first proposition came from her. And even though from the very beginning, when it was announced that the Ooni of Ife acquired an oil well and it was meant for Tadenikawo, Mariam had misunderstood it. She thought that it was the same oil well that she was trying to acquire the papers, because at some point it became very cumbersome. It looks like, they drop they stopped pushing it for a while. So Mariam was thinking Oni went ahead and pushed and finished the pushing and decided to give it over to Tadenikawo. But when Oni explained everything, Mariam now realized that it wasn't even the same one. It was a new one that Oni started processing. And that went ahead to explain the reason why Laide Badmus was always in the palace. You do know that Laide Badmus used to be the best friend to Miriam, and she is into oil business, diesel and all of that. So she knows the whereabouts of this oil thing, okay? And so when all that happened, it happened that the oil well had nothing. Miriam's documentation and everything has got nothing to do with the oil well that Oni just acquired for Tadenikawo. Miriam did not know what to do. She was so perplexed, and now she started fighting that she brought about that proposition of the royal family owning an oil well, and Oni cannot go ahead and get an oil well and decide to name Naomi the CEO of that oil well. That if not for anything, she has worked in the oil sector for all of this years. She knows the modus of operation of an oil company. And if not for anything, Naomi does not have any kind of qualification, and Naomi does not have the expertise to deal with an oil company, that she is the right person that should have been named the CEO and all of that. So with all of these buzzwords, Mariam had to really allegedly work with other wives to try and see how they can bring down Queen Naomi's name from that. And so Elizabeth Jackrich has come out now on her own, because that one is a no-nonsense taker. She has come come down, knowing that when the Ooni's state on this, like his state of mind on this, she has come out now in defense of Queen Naomi and the father, and she is saying that nobody has the right to tell Ooni what to do, and that the oil well, they were the ones who processed it, and they processed it because they knew that the Ooni needed to give it to Naomi. They knew that the Ooni wanted to give Naomi some kind of compensation that is worth it, and that oil well is truly a legacy project for Tadenikawo. And if that oil well truly belongs to Tadenikawo, no other person has the right to decide who takes the leadership position of that oil well. Queen Naomi is educated enough to be able to manage it, that all she needs is some training, and nobody, just nobody, will be able to decide who takes that position, because they were the ones who processed it, and they knew from the very beginning that it was for Tadenikawo, and they knew that Queen Naomi would be at the helm of affairs, and they went ahead and they processed it because that was what they wanted for Queen Naomi and Tadenikawo. That nobody has the right to try and shut Queen Naomi out. Nobody has the right to try and tell them what to do. That nobody can ever tell them what to do. That Queen Naomi's name will not be taken down. Miriam has no right to take Queen Naomi's name down. They say the wahala over oil well in the palace right now is not a small thing. No. That the Basbos, Dr. Elizabeth is saying that there is nothing in this world that Miriam can do, that her disturbance, that the kind of disturbance that she has brought upon the Ooni of Ife is too much, that in fact, that is not the right way to behave when you know that you're already in a polygamous home. And why, if you knew that you were not prepared for polygamy, why did you agree to get married? Miriam has come out by herself to say that she wasn't even and she didn't even know that Ooni was going to marry so many wives. Yes, so that she was not informed that Ooni was going to marry so many of them. She was thinking there would be like one or two. She was surprised that Ooni did not disclose to her that there were going to be very many. It was after she had been married that she found out that there were 6 other women coming behind her. And at that point, there was nothing she could do. And that is the reason why some of these things have been so difficult for her. And so Dr. Elizabeth has told them that there's nothing they can do. Naomi's name cannot be taken down. I'm going to bring you more update on this. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.